Latifah's had it up to here.
Give it to a queen.
Yeah, he's hyped up.
Give it to a queen.
Yo, chill.
Give me five on the black ass side.
Come on, chill.
Give me five on the black ass side.
Check it.
Just another day living in the hood, just another day around the way. Ooh, ladies first, ladies first.
Instantly and me right up your alleyway. Skip the Moet. That's a unity.
And Tupac was pretty much a roadie with Digital, and he became a rapper in the group and made up the Humpty Dance. And they made the song The Humpty Dance, which Tupac created the dance to, and it became a smash hit. We toured together, so we went all across the country. San Francisco doing a show, my first show over $10,000, which was a New Year's Eve show. At this cool gay club in San Francisco. I was like, yo, I'm here. He's like, yo, I'm gonna hook up with you. So Tupac came to the club with me, and I was like, yo, come on, Tupac is in the building. They went crazy in there. I was like, they're gonna tear you out your clothes. Come here. He's like, man, he took his shirt off anyway. We had so much fun, but that was like my brother, and he's the type of person I would like, if he loved you, if he was cool with you, he'd lay his life down for you. So I miss him and I love him. Good times. Losing my brother, that was a devastating time for me. We had just bought a house because I was missing my family from being on the road so much. And my brother and my mother and myself were gonna live in it. We bought this big, ridiculous jacuzzi, and he sat in the jacuzzi fully dressed, and it was like, yo, this is gonna be fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves to dive into the life of one of the most iconic figures in hip-hop history. She's a queen, literally.
We are celebrating 50 years of hip-hop. But wait, we are celebrating the queen. I see you, La. I love you so much. And I want to tell y'all a little backstory. I was coming home from high school, and I used to watch a lot of videos. And I happened to see this young woman rapping. But what caught my attention was her clothes, because she had on the African print, the African medallion. And I kept hearing her say, "Ooh, ladies first," over and over and over again. And I sat there and I was like, wow. She's saying that during a time that we kept hearing it's a man's world. She was saying this unapologetically, changing the narrative right there, something that I was so accustomed to hearing, but now I'm hearing ladies first. And then I sat there, I said, who is this girl? And I looked at the bottom of the screen and it said, Queen Latifah. Not Latifah, but Queen Latifah. That only said to me that she was saying, you will respect me. Get into it now. I will be a leader.
Not in the Game of Thrones way, no dragons, sorry, but in the way she commanded respect, blazed trails, and owned stages worldwide.
She's one of the most versatile creators and artists in history.
She can sing, she can rap. I mean, what can't she do?
She is the blueprint. She's someone that we all strive to be like.
She is a legend.
She's Queen Latifah, the first lady of hip-hop. Heck, she's probably got a secret cookie recipe that would blow your mind. But every queen has her highs and lows. And tonight, we're spilling the tea on her extraordinary life. Our story begins in the humble kingdom of Newark, New Jersey, where a young girl named Dana Owens was born on March 18th, 1970.
I had my own room. My brother's room was next door to mine, and my mother's bedroom was on the other side. And then outside my door was the kitchen. So I was sandwiched between everybody. The bottom floor was a barbershop, and the second floor was our apartment. And so you pretty much, and it was on the corner, so you could look out on two streets, Halstead Street or Clifford Street. You could see the store on the corner across the street, our neighbors across the street. There was a thin area on the side of the house, on the side that my mother would plant fresh flowers and, just little plants to kind of jazz it up, because wherever we lived, my mom always wanted to do something to beautify it or make it smell good, feel good, even if we're in the projects, for a short time. So it was always an atmosphere when you stepped inside of my home or outside of it, because my mother was an art teacher, she always wanted, sort of creative, beautiful things around, or knew how to jazz up whatever kind of area or space we were in. But it was very neighborhoody.
The second child of Lance and Rita Owens, Dana grew up with music in her veins. Her father, a cop, loved loved jazz.
Father played nothing but jazz music. Anytime you got in Daddy's car, you were only hearing jazz, and it was all instrumental, not very many standards. It was just music. And it was like, oh boy, here we go, boring.
And her mom, a school teacher, encouraged creativity.
My mother, being the cool teacher that she was, loved hip hop music too. So she encouraged her students and us, and she encouraged kids to embrace it. And, I was encouraged to just kind of follow the path.
Young Dana sang in the church choir and played the power forward position on her high school basketball team. Yeah, she could drop bars and buckets.
In high school, and I played basketball. Playing a team sport like that with a coach, I think that shifted and helped support who I am.
Who knew that this sweet, innocent child would grow up to become the queen of hip-hop one day? Her father divorced her mother when she was 8 years old. But growing up in a police family whose father and brother were cops had more or less influenced her lifestyle and philosophy of life that made her become a tough person.
My brother became the youngest police officer on the force in East Orange, determined to make a difference. I kind of come from a cop family, but I also come from a hood family. And I come from every family. That's how big my family is and how diverse.
When she was 8 years old, a Muslim cousin gave her the nickname Latifah.
My mother raised me to believe that all women are queens and should be treated as such. The name Latifah means delicate, sensitive, kind, nice. And I always loved the meaning of that name, so I chose this as my rap name, my nickname, and that's where Queen Latifah came from.
A poetic name for someone who would grow up to shatter glass ceilings in the male-dominated world of hip-hop. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Latifah began singing in the choir of Shiloh Baptist Church in Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Love with music really came from being in church and hearing that gospel. Nothing cut through my soul like gospel music.
And had her first public performance when she sang a version of Home.
I really think that it was at St. Anne's when, about 7th grade maybe, when she was Dorothy in The Wiz. And she sang Home and received a standing ovation. I'll never forget that. Tears were rolling down my eyes. I had never heard her sing like that before.
It's Latifah's first year of high school. While most kids were stressing over pop quizzes and lunch table drama, Latifah was already setting the stage for greatness in the most unexpected place, the restrooms and locker rooms.
In high school, my sophomore year of high school, hanging out in the bathrooms, and I transferred to that school, so I was like, let me just see what's up, and, I would wind up hanging out in the bathrooms, and girls would just start rhyming in the bathrooms, and really dudes would be coming in the bathroom too, because it was the place to be. So I would just start hitting the beats on the bathroom stalls. This girl, Tangy B, Landy D, they would just start freestyling, and they were killing it. So I just keep the beat going while they would just start rocking.
Yup, forget recording studios. This was where it all began. Her voice echoed through the halls as she playfully rapped and sang, turning those spots into her own personal concert venues. By her junior year, things got real. Latifah and her two ride or dies, Tangy B and Landy D, decided to form a rap group called Ladies Fresh. Why? Because another group of young women had popped up, and Latifah wasn't about to let them steal all the shine.
And it came to a point where they had to battle these girls from another school. And there were 3 of those girls who were on the mic, and only 2 of us, And so I had to write my first rhyme. So my brother had turntables. I literally went in his room, threw on the instrumental of I Need a Beat by LL Cool J, and I started writing. I was like, okay, what are we gonna write? So I wrote this battle rap, and we wound up battling these girls, and we killed them.
This wasn't just a group. This was a statement. Ladies Fresh started performing anywhere they could. Schools, parties, talent shows, you name it. They were there, mic in hand and ready to claim the spotlight.
Queen, excuse me, but I think I'm about due to get into precisely what I am about to do.
But let's give credit where it's due. Latifah's mom was the silent MVP in all this. She was more than just a supportive parent. She was in tune with the youth, their energy, and most importantly, the music. She saw her daughter's talent and nurtured it, almost like she knew Queen Latifah was destined for something way bigger than high school rap battles.
I hate to go back to my mother again, but my mother taught high school. She taught at the school that I went to. She would not have me in her class because she had enough of me at home. But
But, you know, she taught at the high school, and she was that cool teacher that everyone went to.
Wow.
If they had a problem, if they were being bullied, if they got pregnant, like you went to Miss O. You would go to her class, and that's where I met Shakim, who would become my partner and manager. That's where I met my best friend Tammy, who played basketball. That's where I met DJ Mark, the 45 King, who DJ'd the high school parties and became my producer. Apache and the whole Flavor Unit crew were students at the school.
Really?
Or lived locally, you know? So all of this is really through my mom.
She invited Mark James, a local disc jockey known as DJ Mark, the 45 King.
I met my boy Ramsey. Ramsey introduced me to Apache, Shakim, Latifah. Was like, yo, we need to hire this DJ. My mother taught at the high school. She was like, yo, your mother needs to hire this DJ for the class parties. The DJ happened to be a guy named DJ Mark, the 45 King, who lived up the street from our high school, who was from New York and was like a producer / DJ, was Shy Rock from Funky 4 Plus One More's record boy. You know what I mean? He like knew people from New York.
The basement of James's parents' house in East Orange, equipped with electronic and recording equipment, became the hangout of Latifah and her friends, who called themselves the Flavor Unit.
First of all, you had to know somebody with equipment unless you came from money. A microphone, you had to get to a microphone. You know, you had to get to some music. So we had to kind of practice this stuff live. Maybe we literally cut our cassette tapes to try to make a loop. You know, we didn't have all of that stuff. So we had to make a connection live with people and figure that part out first.
James, who was beginning a career as a producer, gave a demo recording of Queen Latifah's rap, Princess of the Posse.
The ruler Lord Ramsey is on my side, and I'm the princess of the posse, so yo, take it light.
To the host of Yo MTV Raps, Fred Braithwaite, professionally known as Fab Five Freddy.
One day while out there, he had let me hear a tape that had this woman on it rapping along with the guy. And I said, well, let me get a copy of the tape. And so that's when I first heard Queen Latifah.
The recording captured the attention of Tommy Boy Music employee Dante Ross. And in 1988, the label issued her first single, Wrath of My Madness.
Latifah has the spirit, so head for the water and dive into the wrath of my madness.
The track met with positive response, affording Latifah the opportunity to launch a European tour.
This is the end of your tour, I hear. How has it been for the tour?
It was wonderful. We really enjoyed it. We pretty much just rocked everywhere we went. I mean, rock, when I say that, I mean I was hyped, the crowd was hyped, and the whole thing was peaceful, and it was a lovely tour. It was an ideal tour, exactly what I wanted to do.
And to perform at Harlem's famed Apollo Theater.
It's open. Come into my house. I want to get everybody in Apollo to say something for me tonight.
The next year, 1989, the year Taylor Swift was born, but we'll save that story for another script, Latifah dropped her debut album, All Hail the Queen. And hail her we did.
But here, coming from a female MC, but you know what I mean.
The album went on to sell 1 million copies. At just 19 years old, she was a feminist force in rap, a genre then dominated by dudes who wore chains thicker than their necks and rhymed about anything but equality. Tracks like Ladies First were anthems of empowerment.
And I recite chapter in verse. The title of this recital is Ladies First.
She wasn't here to twerk or play second fiddle.
The first time I heard my record on the radio, I went out. Our apartment was on the corner. Our house was on the corner. I went to the front window and yelled out the window, my record's on radio, my record's on radio. Then I went to the side of the house, to the other street. My record's on the radio. I was ecstatic. You couldn't find a happier kid in East Orange at the time. You know, I mean, that was it. I made it. I made it to the radio.
She was here to be heard. That album didn't just introduce her voice, it introduced a movement. Fun fact, her high top fade was sharper than most knives in your kitchen drawer. But the Queen was just getting started. She followed in 1991 with Nature of a Sister, featuring the singles Fly Girl and
Perfect for the Queen Latifah, me.
Fly girl, fly girl.
And How Do I Love Thee?
How much do I love you? Well, multiply your love by infinity.
And Latifah's Had It Up to Here.
Latifah's had it up to here.
Give it to a queen.
Meanwhile, she displayed an interest in investment, putting money into a delicatessen and a video store. Realizing that there was an opening for her in record production, Latifah organized and became Chief Executive Officer of the Flavor Unit Records and Management Company, headquartered in Jersey City, New Jersey. By late 1993, the company had signed 17 rap groups, including the very successful Naughty by Nature. In 1993, Latifah recorded a jazz and reggae-influenced album titled Black Rain.
Who got my back? Jersey got your back. Don't tell me who got my back.
It sold more than 500,000 copies, while the catchy single, UNITY Unity, that's a unity, earned Latifah her first Grammy Award in 1995. Pause. Let's talk about unity. It was a battle cry against sexism, domestic violence, and disrespect. Issues Latifah wasn't afraid to tackle head-on.
You put your hands on me again, I put your handcuffs.
In a world that often tries to reduce women in hip-hop to eye candy, she showed she had bars and brains. The track's chorus, "Who You Callin' a Bitch," became a rallying cry for women everywhere.
Who you calling a
In 1992, Latifah's police officer and older brother, Lance Owens, died in an accident on the motorcycle she had just bought for him as a present.
When I was riding to the hospital, when I got the page about my brother being in the hospital, I felt it. I knew it. Something told me this is not the same. And for the first time, you know, a person calls you emergency, you got to rush to the hospital. I didn't want to drive. And I never give up the wheel. I'm a hell of a driver. So, but this one time I said, let me not drive, because I felt it, and then it started raining, and then it just wasn't the same.
Having lost my brother when I was 22 years old, one of the closest people in my entire life, when that happens to you and you can't even make a fist because you've lost the strength in your hands.
Drowned in a deep mourning for her brother's death, this star thus was spotted still wearing the motorcycle key around her neck. Sadly for the star, gloomy occurrences still roamed around her.
But I questioned a whole lot of things. I questioned so many things. I questioned God. I needed to understand why this happened. Why would this happen?
In 1996, she was arrested in possession of a small amount of marijuana and a .38 caliber handgun, in addition to being cited for speeding, leading her to get fined and sentenced to 2 years probation. Inspired by this incident, she released her 1998 album entitled Order in the Court by Motown Records.
Who is this Latifah? She's the queen.
And would be Latifah's last album with Motown. Partly dedicated to the notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur, it is her first album to have a parental advisory warning on it. 1 year earlier, she was the victim of a carjacking in New York in which 2 teenagers shot her bodyguard.
You know, he went to the gas station to put some oil in my car and some gas, and these guys pulled up next to my car and creeped in and jumped in my driver's seat and took off with the car. It was this fast, like they do this on a regular basis, so I see you.
The bodyguard survived, and the 2 18-year-old men were arrested in connection with the incident on a Harlem street. Picture this. It's 2004, and Queen Latifah decides to flip the script on her rap career. Out of nowhere, she trades in her hip-hop beats for smooth jazz vibes.
Oh, baby, 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 baby.
Enter the Dana Owens album, a stunning showcase of her soulful, velvet-like vocals.
Where one relaxes on the axis of the wheel of life.
Who knew the Queen could sing like that? The album shot up to number 16 on the Billboard 200, proving Latifah wasn't just a rapper. She was an artist. Oh, and let's not forget, it snagged her a Grammy nomination. Talk about a mic drop moment. But wait, it gets better. In 2007, she followed up with Travelin' Light, an album packed with jazzy, bluesy goodness that climbed even higher on the charts. If you haven't heard her rendition of Poetry Man, you might want to clear your calendar.
Or hiding something sweet, please give it.
That performance alone could make a grown man weep. And guess what? It earned her a Grammy for instrumental arrangement. Yes, you heard that right. Queen Latifah won a Grammy for jazz. Who else has that kind of range?
I'm in shock right now. Thank you so much.
Of course, she wasn't done surprising us. By 2009, Latifah returned to her roots with Persona, giving fans a taste of her hip-hop essence again.
Fast car, I won't be a fast car. Take me on a comet ride.
The critics had mixed feelings, but let's be real. When you're Queen Latifah, you can do whatever you want. Back in the 90s, hip-hop was all about power moves, and Queen Latifah wasn't letting anyone tarnish her crown. Enter Foxy Brown, who claimed Latifah made an unwanted pass at her. Oh yes, Foxy stirred the pot, and Latifah clapped back with a diss track on the Set It Off soundtrack. Name Calling, Part 1 and 2.
Wanna test me, come test your weak songs and weak shows. Reincarnated, I'll be a pimp. We slap the shit out of these weak.
Latifah held nothing back, rapping, "I'm into breaking bitches and sending them back to their first career, stripping." Ouch. Foxy fired back with her own track.
And you mad rapper cause I'm half your age, feel like 8 balls on some that'll double your pay.
Keeping the feud hot and fans speculating about Latifah's personal life. Eventually, the two buried the hatchet, but not before giving hip-hop one of its juiciest rivalries. Latifah's public strength masks a deeply personal battle. As a child, she endured sexual abuse by a teenager entrusted with her care. For years, she buried the pain, but her brother's death at 22 pushed her to finally open up. "I couldn't carry his death and that secret," she revealed. Her father's silence when she shared her story was chilling, but her strength to heal, inspirational. Behind the scenes, Latifah faced another battle.
My mom actually was diagnosed with heart failure years ago. She was teaching in class in Irvington High School, New Jersey. She's a high school teacher, and she passed out in class.
Oh my goodness.
And we got some testing, and the doctor said you have heart failure. You're in heart failure, which was very shocking to us to hear at the time. Like, what? You know what I mean? She seemed perfectly healthy. But this was a diagnosis. And then, okay, the next step was what now? So now what do we do? So the doctors sort of explained what we could do. And fortunately, there was a lot we could do. So with the medications that she was prescribed and changing the lifestyle, the eating, decreasing the salt in the diet and kind of decreasing some fluids that she needed to do at the time.
Balancing her career and caregiving wasn't easy, but she found strength in her mom's resilience. From massages to quiet walks, Latifah prioritized self-care to keep going. And when her mother passed in 2018...
Queen Latifah's mother, Rita Owens, passed away yesterday after a long battle with heart disease. Queen Latifah released a statement. "It is with a heavy heart that I share the news that my mother, Rita Owens, passed away today. Anyone that has ever met her knows what a bright light she was on this earth."
Latifah honored her memory in the documentary Beyond Breathless. In a softer, heartwarming twist, Latifah recently became a mom. She gushed about her late bloomer journey to people, saying, "I've always envisioned myself with a big family."
I want to be there for somebody. I gotta, get all this stuff, give it to somebody.
While juggling Hollywood, advocacy, and her new role as a mom, Queen Latifah proves she's the epitome of grace under fire. Now, let's talk about awards. Because Latifah doesn't just win them, she collects them like Pokemon.
And the people's choice for favorite new talk show host is Queen Latifah!
Grammy Award in 1995, Best Rap Solo Performance for UNITY, aka the Ultimate Girl Power Anthem. 2008 Golden Globe for her role in life support.
Ma, you took her from me 11 years ago.
I kept your child out of the system.
I know, but I'm still her mother.
Screen Actors Guild Awards.
Respect to everyone who voted for me. Thank you. Because anyone could have won it, and many others have.
So she has a whole stack of these. 2021 Emmy Award for The Equalizer.
Who the hell are you?
Neighborhood Watch.
Maybe you should mind your own business.
I've tried.
Because even at 54, she's still the queen of primetime TV. Hollywood Walk of Fame star in 2006.
Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly welcome to the Walk of Fame, Queen Latifah.
Naturally, because Hollywood had to honor her. Oh, and let's not forget her jaw-dropping net worth. A cool $70 million. If she wanted, she could buy a diamond-encrusted throne and still have enough left over to produce a blockbuster film. These days, Latifah is a one-woman powerhouse. She's starring in CBS's The Equalizer, serving up justice with swagger and sass.
Are you involved with
justice? If they see me or not, you gon' slip and slide.
Off-screen, she's a producer, philanthropist, and vocal advocate for LGBTQ+ rights. And yes, she finally gave fans a peek into her private life, confirming her long-term relationship with Ebony Nichols.
Ebony asked me out on a date, right?
I was like, we're going to the Met Ball. Make it happen.
And I wanted to be a hero in my household.
Love looks good on the Queen. As if that's not enough, she's even dipped her toes into real estate.
Dana Owens, better known as hip-hop legend Queen Latifah, returned to her stomping ground Tuesday to break ground on a housing development meant to elevate and revitalize the city that helped nurture her.
What's always been important is that I could build something in this city that I could live in, that Queen Latifah could live in, not just Dana. Dana could live anywhere. If you know Dana, you know Dana can roll.
The development called Rise Living is a collaboration between Life Assets Development and the Blue Sugar Corporation, which was co-founded by Queen Latifah. The singer and actress not only throwing her star power behind the cause to beautify the once widely ignored block, but hopes to inspire others to do the same.
Newark is ours. Newark is yours. And I don't want people to think that they can't live in their own communities.
And juggles endorsements with brands like CoverGirl.
CoverGirl, the next generation of easy, breezy, beautiful, is you. Rocking it for 50 years.
And Pizza Hut.
Look what Pizza Hut's got for you now. The DVD is yours to keep when you buy a large Pizza Hut pizza at regular price.
Seriously, is there anything she can't do? Queen Latifah's legacy isn't just about her music or her acting chops. It's about what she represents. She kicked down doors in a male-dominated industry and showed women they could be powerful, multidimensional, and unapologetically bold. Without her, the road for stars like Missy Elliott, Nicki Minaj, and Cardi B might have been a lot rockier. Latifah isn't just a queen. She's the queen, and her reign, it's far from over. Her activism, advocacy, and ability to evolve over decades make her a true cultural icon. And let's not forget her warmth and humor. Despite her fame, she still seems like someone you could share a laugh and a slice of pizza with.
Biggest rumor you ever heard about yourself, Queen?
Well, I did find out that I have some kids in Africa. I'm like, I think I would know if I had pushed you out.
So here we are, over 3 decades into Queen Latifah's reign. She's gone from rapping about respect to earning it across industries. She's shown us how to rise after falling, how to thrive in a male-dominated world, and how to stay grounded while flying high. Cue the spotlight on the mic stand. All hail the Queen. Long may she reign. Mic drop. Curtain closes.